So the topic for today is Vibrio cholerae. So have you heard this bacterium earlier? What disease would it cause? Very nice, cholera. So what is the main presenting feature of cholera? No, no, no. How would the patient present to you? Let others also speak. So yes, this would be row A, B, and C. Row A. What do you think? What system does cholera affect? GIT. And how does the patient present? Group Team B, diarrhea. Team C, what is diarrhea? Diarrhea is an increase in frequency and or fluidity of the stool as compared to that person's normal bowel habits, right? Because no two person can have similar bowel habits. So my topic is Vibrio cholerae, extremely important. See, I'll tell you one thing in microbiology teaching. Books have all the information. But if you read the book without attending the lecture, you wouldn't know what is more important. Like some areas are must know areas. Then some areas are good to know areas. Some areas are which you can easily miss. They're more important for postgraduates. So my objective of taking this class is to tell you the must know areas which would be very important to you during your MBBS times. And likewise, I'll also tell you when there are good to know areas and you can skip those areas also. So if I say they are important, you please consider them important only, either as MCQ or theory, because MCQs also you have to appear at one point of time or other. So your pre-PG exam would also you have to give. So MCQs are also very important now. Let's read this question. A 4-year-old boy developed severe watery diarrhea and vomiting. The stool collected has a rice water type appearance. It was sent for bacteriological analysis. What is the? These are the types of questions you will be getting. And actually, honestly, I was always in favor of microbiology being a clinical subject. See, you have to see the patient ultimately. There's no point in knowing cholera theoretically. You have to know how would the patient present to you, and then how would you proceed for diagnosis. Clear? So, what is your probable diagnosis? And describe in detail the pathogenesis and the laboratory diagnosis. So, what do you think is the key point in this history? So, number one is watery diarrhea. Number two is? So, would you remember these 2 points always in cholera? And third point could be no fever. There is no history of fever. There would be history of fever only in those diarrhea cases where the organism is invasive. It invades, So that means this is a non-invasive organism. There is no fever. And another important thing is, if they do a stool examination, there will be no pustules or RBC. Why? Because it's a completely non-invasive organism. So it's a painless, watery diarrhea. And the characteristic feature you have to remember is rice water stool. What is rice water stool? इसका मतलब क्या है? चावल के पानी का स्टूल मतलब क्या हुआ? हाँ बेटा, हाँ घर में आप देखे होंगे जब भी चावल बनते होंगे and your mother or somebody would be washing the rice, you see that water that is left behind, it is slightly white, है ना? तो वैसा ही पानी का appearance होता है इसका rice water in which rice has been washed. So now the brief history. It was discovered in 1854, and you have to remember that it has a coma shape because not many bacteria will have a coma shape. So, and it was named Vibrio cholerae. It was then later on isolated by Cox. The family is Vibrionaceae. The species we are most concerned with is Vibrio cholerae. It's a gram-negative bacterium, and it has a single polar flagellum. Why is it important to know single polar flagellum? Because another thing that is a must know is it has a darting motility. What is a darting motility? Darting motility also known as shooting star motility. I'm sure movies में वो वाला कौन सा movie था? Anjali, Kajol, her name is Anjali. So there was a shooting star in that, na? Because this Sardar little boy, he was sitting and there was a shooting star. I don't remember the name of the movie, but that's a shooting star motility or the darting motility. What is a dart? You know that? Yes, that game, no? You throw it. So it's like that. 1 minute is here, another minute is gone, it disappears. and you can't track the path. So that is a darting motility. So you must remember, and that motility is possible because it has a single polar flagellum. Suppose it's working. Hello, it's working now. So suppose a bacterium has peritrichous flagella. What is peritrichous? All around. So if a bacterium has a peritrichous flagella, what kind of motility will it have? It will have slow, stately motility, slow, without any particular direction. But since this bacterium has a single polar flagellum, so it has a darting motility. In stained, now this you have to remember, this is MCQ also. In stained mucus flakes of cholera cases, जो राइस वाटर स्टूल आएगा उसका यदि आप ग्राम बनाएंगे, so you see something like a fish in stream appearance. It is actively motile and has a typical darting motility. So now the classification. There are two types, either halophilic or non-halophilic. Halo means, halo stands for salt and philia means love. So halophilic means salt loving. That means they need a higher concentration of salt for growing, and non-halophilic means they do not need salt for growing. They do not love salt. They can tolerate salt up to 1% concentration, but beyond 6 so they cannot grow only. So Vibrio cholerae, you have to remember, is a non-halophilic Vibrio, and I made a mnemonic for myself when I was a student. So VAP, Vulnificus, Alginolyticus and Parahemolyticus. It's a MCQ. So which amongst the following is a halophilic Vibrio? So remember that cholera is a non-halophilic Vibrio. It's strongly aerobic, non-halophilic, and the most important point in this slide is it is sensitive to acidic pH. Now, tell me one thing, if an organism is sensitive to acidic pH, would it not make you wonder as to how it would cross the gastric acidity? Because obviously stomach has a highly acidic pH, no? So that means this organism has to be present in a high an overload, in a high concentration for the disease to be transmitted. That is why you don't see it very often, because the organism load needed is quite high. Otherwise, most of the bacteria would get killed in the stomach only. Now, the growth of the organism it grows as moist, translucent, round discs. On MacConkey, you have to remember that they are non-lactose fermenting colonies. Later on, they can become slightly pinkish because of late lactose fermentation. On blood agar, I'll tell you this difference later on. It produces something like hemodigestion. Can you see this photo? So this is known as hemodigestion on blood agar. What is hemodigestion? Hemodigestion is non-specific breakdown of the RBCs. Okay. So can you see what is the color of the blood agar? Team A, what is the color? So, but this has yellow color. Why? Because all the RBCs have broken down. That is why you can see through the medium. Can you understand this? Now, this is also MCQ. Gelatin stap culture will have what kind of growth? It will have a infundibular form or napiform growth, like a turnip. Can you see gelatin liquefaction in that photo? So, this is a MCQ. Now, since this organism is special, because till now, most of the organisms that you have been taught would grow best at the normal human pH. 7.36 to 7.44. But this bacterium is different. Why? Because it grows best at an alkaline pH. 8.2 is an optimum pH for this organism. So if you want to isolate this organism in your laboratory, what would you need? Other organisms can easily grow in blood agar and MacConkey, clear? But what would you do with this? Team C? Anybody? Huh? Yes, we can use Carry-Blair medium for transport. So, she gets the essence of my question. The answer is that we would use a culture medium in the laboratory or for transport that has an alkaline pH. So, this you have to make sure. Now, what are the names of the medium? These are all Viva questions. So, let's say them once because they are tricky names. So, transport medium is number 1, Venkataraman Ramakrishnan medium, number 1, and number 2 is Carry-Blair medium. So you can say VR and Carry-Blair. Amongst the enrichment media, what is enrichment media? Number 1. Team A, number 1 is No, you have to be louder. Last row, have you promised to yourself that you will never speak a word in my class? When I said no talking, I meant no talking amongst yourselves, not no talking with me. So number 2 is team B. It's a little tricky name. Tellurite is added so that the other enteric bacteria are inhibited. And now most important, we come to the plating media. This is what you need in your laboratory. Without this, you cannot isolate Vibrio in your laboratory. So number 1 is bile salt agar, then Monsoon's GTTA, and what you have to remember is TCBS. So what is the full name of TCBS? Team C, would you speak it loud? So this you have to remember. Row 4, second and third girl finds it very funny, but I wish you could replicate this in your exam, So be familiar with the name, smile and laugh, that's okay, but be familiar with the name. So TCBS is thio, and since it has sucrose in it, and Vibrio happens to ferment sucrose. So what will happen? When an organism ferments a sugar, acidic pH is produced, and then yellow colored colonies are produced. So Vibrio cholerae will have this kind of colony, yellow colony. Clear? This medium will be kept in your tray viva. When you give your grand viva, do you see that there is always a tray kept there with culture medium? And all of you see, look at that tray and you are so lost. Then I tell you, okay, you pick up something of your own choice. So you can pick up this. This will be there in that plate. So TCBS and Vibrio will have yellow colonies. Why? Because it ferments sucrose. Now biochemical reaction, very important, remember oxidase positive. It is catalase and oxidase positive. And number 3, indole positive and nitrates are reduced to nitrites. Because of these two biochemical reactions, it gives something like cholera red reaction. Now this is a MCQ and a Viva question also. What is cholera red reaction? And is it positive or negative for Vibrio cholerae? So cholera red is when you add concentrated sulfuric acid, you get a red ring like that on the top. It may be kept there in your exam for tray Viva also. So this is cholera red reaction, and why does it occur? Because of two biochemicals. Number 1, team A, it is indole positive, and number 2, team B, nitrates are reduced to nitrites. So these two biochemicals produce the cholera red reaction. Now string test is like if you mix the colony in 0.5% deoxycholate, a string is formed like this. See, all these are your MCQ questions. Say what question would be? Vibrio cholerae has all the following characteristics except. So cholera red reaction positive, string test positive, one more and one more. So you know what is the right answer. Now let's come to antigenic structure. Extremely important, long question, short note, whatever. So it has, there's a O lipopolysaccharide, somatic O antigen. Based on O antigen, now please see this. Group A and B you can forget. Let's come to O group. So Vibrio has a O antigen based on which it is either O1, 2, 3, till 200 they have been found. So most important is O1. So what we do is we classify. Now initially when Vibrio was initially discovered, the most important one was O1 only, and people didn't even know that more existed. So as and when more and more kept on getting discovered, the numbers kept on getting added. So initially they were called O1 or non-O1. Am I clear in this? So they will be either O1 or non-O1. Non-O1 will have everything. And most important ones are O1 and O139. O139 is a very important Viva question and a MCQ question also. I'll talk about 139 later on. Then you come to biotyping. What is biotyping? See, typing means classification, and bio means biological reactions. Clear? Biochemical reactions. So when you divide them on the basis of biochemical reactions, they are known as biotypes. And what are the two biotypes? Team B, classical and Altor. Louder. Have you read this in your coaching classes? How many of you have joined coaching classes? For pre-PG, it's okay. It's a frank discussion. How many of you have joined? Don't tell me nobody has joined. Okay, you don't want to tell me. Okay, you don't want to tell each other. But then all of you will be in the same class, no? Okay, fine, don't tell me. So, biotyping, two biotypes, classical and Altor. And then you have serotypes. O1 वाला क्या था? वो सीरो ग्रुप था. सीरो ग्रुप के बाद biotyping and then serotyping. And then serotyping will be what? There are three names. Team A, you have to read the names. Serotyping. It's funny. सुबह सुबह हंसना तो अच्छा है. So team C, what are the serotypes? So let's revise this. Team B, what is the first division? On the basis of what? On number one division was, last row, O antigen. So on the basis of O antigen, we were dividing into O or O1 or non-O1. Non-O1, what was the most important one? O139. So that was on the basis of O. Now we come to biotyping. Then what are the biotypes? Very nice. And then we come to serotypes, which is based on the minor antigens A, B and C. So, excellent. You have to remember, it's a short note, important short note. Now, biotyping means, I told you, on the basis of biochemical differences. These are those biochemical differences. These you have to rectify. It's a theory question, Viva question, MCQ question, everything it is. It's important to just rectify it. There is nothing to explain in this. So, which strain would be hemolytic? Would you remember this? Would you remember this? On what culture medium would you see hemolysis? Would you see it on TCBS? Team B, please don't talk amongst yourselves. Team B, would you see hemolysis on TCBS? No. Okay, Team C is answering. What is the appearance of Vibrio cholerae on TCBS? Team C. And Team A, why yellow? Sucrose fermentation. Great. So Altor जो है, it was isolated by Gosling. We can skip this, but it was discovered in Egypt. The quarantine station was known as Altor. It's an interesting history, so you can remember. That's why the name is Altor, and it is hemolytic and produces VP positive. Rest you can remember, you can read. And serotypes are Ogawa, Inaba, and Hikojima on the basis of minor antigens A, B, and C. So Ogawa has A and B, Inaba has B and C, and Hikojima has A, B, and both C, all the three. Now this is important, O139. This you have to remember, and it is an important MCQ also, and Viva to hai hai. O139 serogroup, it was discovered in 1992, and it caused an epidemic in Bengal. It is very similar to Vibrio cholerae O1 Altor, which it causes a mild disease. It produces a capsule. So, अगर हमारे पास खाली O1 antiserum है, remember, listen to my question team में, if we have Vibrio cholerae antiserum, okay, तो poly O antiserum है हमारे पास में, तो कौन कौन से Vibrio उसके साथ एग्लूटिनेट करेंगे? O antiserum के साथ में सारे ही करेंगे, क्योंकि सारे विब्रियो में O एंटीजन है. O1 के साथ कौन सा करेगा? सिर्फ O1. तो ये किसके साथ करेगा? O139 एंटीसीरा के साथ एग्लूटिनेट करेगा, O1 के साथ नहीं करेगा. Now let's come to pathogenicity. This all of you have told me already. It causes an acute diarrheal disease known as cholera, and transmission is by fecal-oral route. Pathogenicity is a short note. So transmission is by fecal-oral route by ingestion of contaminated food and drink. And I told you it is a non-invasive bacterium. It doesn't invade. It produces a toxin. The toxin is known as cholera toxin. And the MCQ question is, the cholera toxin resembles what? So cholera toxin resembles the LT toxin of E. coli. Do you remember enterotoxigenic E. coli? Have you heard of enterotoxigenic E. coli? It was producing two toxins, LT and ST. So this is similar to LT. This is an MCQ, so you have to remember. I'll ask anyone to stand and read, so be attentive. So there's only a toxin production, and what this toxin does is, this toxin has two parts, A and B. B stands for binding. So B stands for binding and A is the active component. When it gets bound to the right receptor, A is broken down into A1 and A2. A1 activates the cyclic AMP and there is lot of production of please read it. And this hypersecretion of water and electrolytes into the lumen, which then passes off as diarrhea. So how would the patient present to you? If there is a severe diarrhea, the patient will have signs and symptoms of dehydration and electrolyte imbalance. Incubation period is 1 to 2 days, can vary up to 5 days. Now, clinical features, most important feature you have to remember is it produces profuse voluminous diarrhea, which is characteristically rice water in appearance. Are you people reading this? This all I've told you. Now, there have been many pandemics. See, cholera. So, right now we are facing corona pandemic. What is pandemic? When, yes, many countries and continents are involved, right? What is sporadic? When there is a case here and there. What is epidemic? When there is an increase in frequency of cases. And pandemic, of course, you know. Endemic means when many cases are present in the community. So, I ask you a question. Team B, it's for you. If I say that the disease is endemic, then who is transmitting the disease? Who is mostly responsible for transmitting the disease? Very good, amazing. You could answer that. Yes, so if a disease becomes endemic in a community, that means there are carriers of the disease. Carriers means they are themselves not getting infected, but they have the organism and they're spreading it everywhere. So that leads to an endemic situation. Good. Now this is important for your MCQ. I have seen many MCQs based on this. Now strains of Altor biotype produce less cholera toxin, but they appear to colonize. So that means what? Cholera will not be very severe, but they will be very much carrier state. So with this organism, the disease will become mostly endemic. It is more resistant to environmental factors also. So they have a higher tendency to become higher tendency to become endemic. Now we come to lab diagnosis. So what do you think we should diagnose? Now a patient, let's go back to the first question. A 5-year-old child presents in the pediatric emergency with profuse diarrhea and the mother brings the child. So what do you think it is and how would you diagnose? Would you please sit properly? So what disease do you think? Team A, would you like to take some history? क्या हिस्ट्री लेना चाहोगे बताओ प्लीज लेट्स कीप क्वाइट लेट्स थिंक बिकॉज 2 years later you will face these situations yes history of fever because अगर फीवर होगा तो कॉलेरा नहीं हो सकता और है बेटा yes stool appearance was there any blood or mucus in the stool because if there is blood and mucus it can't be an invasive it can't be Vibrio cholera. Anything else that you would like to know, Team B? Any other history? Think about it. I want this answer. Last boy, second row. Oh, sorry, last row, second boy. History of food intake, yes. और उससे related कुछ और दिमाग में आता है? नहीं? बोलो कुछ बोल रहे हो तो? Team C, can you think of something? Team C, anything?
Common food.
Yes, who said that? What's your name?
Okay.
Very nice, Pulkit, excellent. Common source. Whether they ate at a particular place or wedding or something, or was there a fair, some unhygienic conditions which has led to this. Because if such a history is there, then what will you do, Pulkit? What do you think you should be doing as a doctor? सोर्स का पता लगाओगे और उससे भी ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट एनीबडी यस यू Third row, first boy. No, you have to think. ऐसे गर्दन से काम नहीं चलेगा.
From the authorities.
Yes, you have to inform the authorities and you have to prep up your services. Because if there was a fair and you get the first patient और तुमने उसका देखा और तुम्हें लग रहा है कॉलेरा, you have to be alert क्योंकि अभी 10 और आएंगे उसके बाद में, है ना? So you have cholera can very easily present as an epidemic. So this kind of presentation is there. So you have to take these things in mind. Now lab diagnosis. Okay, now so this patient was there. What sample would you ask? Team B? Team C, what will be the appearance of the stool sample? वो तो आपको दिखने से ही पता चल जाए कोई नो ब्लड म्यूकस राइट वाटर. तो अब ये सैंपल कहाँ है आपके पास में? माइक्रो लैब में आया. माइक्रो लैब में पहली चीज क्या करोगे आप? कल्चर भी लगा लोगे और भी एक चीज करोगे जो मैंने बताया बिल्कुल डायग्नोस्टिक है. हाँ जी, नहीं टीम ए बोलेगी. हाँ टीम ए, थर्ड रो, थर्ड बॉय फ्रॉम देयर. No talking amongst yourselves. Yes. So true. See, if somebody is not interested in my class, I'm telling you, you can really leave. Don't sit. But if you're sitting in my class, then try and listen and be interactive. है ना? Anybody better? Yes. Who told motility? Yes, very nice. What's your name? I forgot. Huh? Gauri. So Gauri, what you will do? You will do motility. So what kind of motility will be there? Very nice. अच्छा, इसी स्टेप पे आप कॉलेरा को कंफर्म भी कर सकते हो. एनी आइडिया कैसे कर सकते हो? टीम सी से पूछते हो. हाँ टीम सी, आपको स्टूल का सैंपल मिला, आपको राइस वाटरी स्टूल दिख रहा है, आपने उसका हैंगिंग. मोबिलिटी कैसे चेक करते हैं? कौन बोल रहा है? अपने आप में नहीं बोलो, मैं भेज दूंगी. हाँ बोलो. हाउ डू यू चेक द मोबिलिटी? यू चेक द मोबिलिटी बाय हैंगिंग ड्रॉप. तो आपको कैसी मोबिलिटी नजर आई? At this point of time, can you confirm your diagnosis? That is my question. Team C. This is a viral question. Anybody would like to answer? Okay. No. और बोलो, और सोचो. वेरी गुड. और सोचो. It's good that you're thinking. ग्राम नेगेटिव तो है बेटा, आपने ग्राम स्केल बना लिया, बट मोटिलिटी के लेवल पे आप कैन यू कंफर्म द डायग्नोसिस? कल्चर तो कितनी देर लगाएगा ग्रो करने में? 24 आवर्स ग्रो करने में लगाएगा. 24 आवर्स में तो 10 मरीज और आ जाएंगे. फिशन स्ट्रीम अपीयरेंस ग्राम स्केल पे नजर आएगी. गुड. और कंफर्मेटरी बताओ. हाँ, फिशन स्ट्रीम अपीयरेंस होगा. और मोटिलिटी की बेसिस पे टीम ए. हाँ, वो तो मोटिलिटी हो गई. अब क्या करें? I'll tell you the answer and remember it also. To the stool sample, आप स्लाइड पे हैंगिंग ड्रॉप बना रहे हो, आप उसी में एक ड्रॉप एंटी सीरम डाल दो, तो क्या होगा? मोटिलिटी खत्म हो जाएगी, है ना? अगर विब्रियो का एंटी सीरम यदि आपके पास है, जो कि होता ही है लैब में, हमारे पास भी है, तो जस्ट पूरा ड्रॉप ऑफ एंटी सीरम, so that bacteria which was actively motile a minute back will become completely immotile, and this is confirms the diagnosis. Of course, you have to put up a culture, but then these things will take a long time, you know. So at this point of time, you can give a confirmatory diagnosis to the clinician, right? And then, so the sample has now come to laboratory, और आप लोगों ने hanging drop बना के motility देख ली, और आप दूसरा क्या कर रहे हो? कल्चर लगा रहे हो. कल्चर किस पे लगा रहे हो टीम बी? बस मैंने तो सारा गिनाया था. TCBS और क्या बताया था? प्लेटिंग मीडिया, बायल सॉल्ट एक बार बताया था. TCBS से विब्रियो की कॉलोनी कैसी होगी? येलो होगी. तो ठीक है, आज हमने लगाया फूल सैंपल, कल उस पर येलो कलर का कॉलोनी ग्रो कर गया. क्लियर? नाउ आप टीम से व्हाट विल यू डू नाउ? ऐसे काम नहीं चलेगा भाई. Row 3, third girl. What do you have the special technique of talking that you mumble and I can see you talking yet there is voice? It's a special technique that you people have devised to irritate people. Of course. So yes. Second last row, third girl. Yes, you. You were so happy when you were reading out TCPS. So next day, what will you do with TCBS? अरे ये तो क्या है, तो लैब डायग्नोसिस कितनी बार डिस्कस कर चुके हैं भाई. क्या करोगे पहले आपने कॉलोनी का अपीयरेंस देखा तो आपको लगा कि हाँ ये विब्रियो हो सकता है, येलो कलर की कॉलोनी. अब आप क्या करोगे इसका कंफर्म कैसे करोगे? बायोकेमिकल्स लगाओगे ना. कौन से बायोकेमिकल लगाएगी टीम से? हाँ, कॉलेरा रेड रिएक्शन और स्ट्रिंग टेस्ट करेगा और इससे भी इम्पोर्टेंट ऑक्सीडेज पॉजिटिव. It is oxidase positive. That's it. And then you will confirm it. You will confirm it with what team है? खड़ा हो जाओ. 1, 2, 3, 4. खड़ा हो जाओ. जाओ बाहर जाओ. बाहर जाके आराम से तसल्ली से बात करो. Go. I have made my terms and conditions very clear. Not a word in my class. No, you have to leave, please. You have to respect me on this, है ना? Go. हाँ जी. एक बहुत अच्छा बायोकेमिकल मिस हो रहा है जो मिस नहीं कर सकते बेटा. कॉलेरा रेड रिएक्शन किन दो कारणों से आ रहा था? पॉजिटिव और नाइट्रेट्स वर रिड्यूस्ड टू नाइट्राइट. एक्सक्यूज मी, क्या नाम है इसका? विष्णु. I leave the decision to you. If you want to leave, you can leave. If you want to stay, stay. But no talking anymore. Okay? It's your decision. I'm not, and I won't judge you for that. So oxidase positive. Oxidase positive you can't miss in Vibrio. Yeah. And in cholera red and string test you remember. So now you put the biochemicals. Then team A, how will you confirm your diagnosis? Yes, team A. इतना सारा कहानी सुनाई मैं तुमको सीरोटाइपिंग का. सीरोटाइपिंग करेंगे तो पहले आप O एंटी सीरम से करोगे तो उससे एग्लूटिनेट हो जाएगा. फिर किससे करोगे? O1 से करोगे. तो यदि O1 से हो जाता तो O1 है. यदि नहीं होता तो क्या कहलाएगा? वो नॉन O1 कहलाएगा. यदि O139 है तो कर लीजिए, नहीं है तो कोई बात नहीं. फिर नेक्स्ट स्टेप विल बी टीम बी. अभी तो पूरा डायग्नोज ही नहीं बना ना. यस, वेरी गुड. बायोटाइपिंग यू विल डू. So what were the two biotypes? So you will know the biotype. And team C, what will be the next step? कौन से 3 serotypes थे? Very nice. So you remember that. And last will be antibiotic sensitivity testing, and you will go. So tell me, I'll be very happy if you can answer that. So, do antibiotics have a role in cholera? Anybody? It's open to the entire class. How many of you say yes? Raise your hand. So let it be a group thing. You say yes? Okay, how many of you say no? Raise your hands. And how many of you are completely non-committal? So rest of you are not interested or non-committal? तो एक काम करते हैं, ये बताओ इस ऑर्गेनिज्म, लेट्स डिराइव इट सो यू रिमेम्बर इट. इस ऑर्गेनिज्म का पैथोजेनिसिटी क्या था? इट वाज कॉलेरा टॉक्सिन. इज दिस ऑर्गेनिज्म इन्वेसिव? कोई ऑर्गेनिज्म को एक टॉक्सिन बना के छोड़ दिया है तो टॉक्सिन काम कर रहा है. तो एंटीबायोटिक क्या करेगा? वो तो ऑर्गेनिज्म को ही मारेगा, टॉक्सिन को तो मार नहीं सकता है. So now tell me, would antibiotics have a role? Yes or no? No, they do not have a role. And most of the cholera infections are mild infections, so they get treated on their own. The only thing you have to take care is, yes, team B, hydration. You have to give ORS. And if the patient is quite dehydrated, then you give a intravenous infusion you give. Now, but in severe cases, antibiotics are given. What would be the reason? भाई जितना टॉक्सिन बन गया उसका तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते, पर बाकी जो टॉक्सिन नहीं बने ना, तो उसके लिए अगर सीवियर कॉलेरा है, then you give antibiotic as a treatment of choice is tetracycline. Yeah. So we've covered the lab diagnosis. We don't have to go through. Now this is the bottle. It is a sterile, sturdy, leak-proof container that you give. Sample should not be collected from the bedpan. Why? Because motility would not be seen. And there will be a lot of contamination also. So this is your fish in stream appearance, which you people told, Team C had told. Now this is TCBS growth, yellow colony, and this is agglutination. Clear? Treatment, Doxycycline or tetracycline is the treatment of choice, but in children you cannot give tetracycline because of the bone and teeth deformity, so they give erythromycin and azithromycin. Vaccines, there are no satisfactory vaccines for cholera. Killed vaccines are not given. Injectables are not given. अच्छा, injectables are not given. Why? ये डिजीज कहाँ पे कॉज कर रहा है? लोकल जीआईटी में. तो आप वैक्सीन भी दोगे इंजेक्टेबल, तो वो लोकल इम्यूनिटी जनरेट नहीं करेगा. सो injectables are not given. Oral vaccines are available but not much used. So, and nobody is going to ask you also. Now next we come to halophilic vibrios. So this I told you, VAP or PAV, whatever. If somebody is a foodie, you can remember PAV also, PAV. So number 1 is Team A, number 1. Team B, number 2. Team C, number 3. Now my question is, on my first slide, I had shown 4th halophilic vibrio also. What was that? Huh? My God, you remember? Yes, mimicus. So the MCQ would be, which of the following is not a halophilic vibrio? Now parahemolyticus is important. I have seen a few MCQs in this. Since it is halophilic, it requires high salt concentration around 8%. एंड इसमें 2-3 चीजें जो आपको याद रखनी है. एक तो ये कैप्सुलेटेड है, ऊपर से ये कानागावा टेस्ट देता है ऑन ह्यूमन ब्लड एगार, ऑन हाई सॉल्ट ह्यूमन ब्लड एगार इट गिव्स हेमोलिसिस, एंड सिंस इट डज नॉट फर्मेंट सुक्रोज, सो इट प्रोड्यूसेस ग्रीन कॉलोनीज. नाउ alginoliticus, I have seen MCQs on each one of them. So remember the key features. शॉर्ट नोट खाली हेलोफिलिक विब्रियो पे आएगा, वो मुझे नहीं लगता कि एक ऑर्गेनिज्म पे आ सकता है. But once Vibrio parahemolyticus has come as a short note, so these days everything and anything is coming. So just be familiar. अच्छा, अगर सपोज आपको आ भी जाता है, सपोज पैराहेमोलिटिकस आ जाता है सपोज, और आपको कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा उसके बारे में, तो आपको ये तो मालूम है वो विब्रियो है, तो आपको ये तो मालूम है वो कर्व्ड बैक्टीरियम है, डार्टिंग है ना. तो थिंग्स यू कैन मेक सम कॉमन पॉइंट्स फॉर एवरी चैप्टर एंड देन यू कैन राइट. एंड नॉन हेलोफिलिक, ये हेलोफिलिक है, सो इट विल नीड अ हाई सॉल्ट कॉन्सेंट्रेशन. Now Vulnificus, इसमें क्वेश्चन आता था swarming. Which vibrio shows swarming? So which vibrio shows swarming? और कौन सा ऑर्गेनिज्म शो करता है swarming? ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Which vibrio is lactose positive? Vulnificus. तो ये इनके MCQ key points हैं which you have to remember. Now there are 2 more bacteria, Aeromonas and Plesiomonas. They are resembling Vibrio. Why? Because ये भी NLF organisms होते हैं जो कि ऑक्सीडेज पॉजिटिव होते हैं और डायरिया कॉज करते हैं. So you have to know a little about them. But Plesiomonas का क्या है, वो इन्वेजिव है. So there will be blood and leukocytes, WBCs and pus cells in the stool. तो उसका राइस वाटरी स्टूल नहीं होगा. राइस वाटरी स्टूल खाली विब्रियो कॉलेरे का ही होगा. और ये डिफरेंसेस हैं जो कि आपकी बुक में दे रखे हैं. सो since they are invasive organisms, तो इसमें abdominal cramps और fever होगा. That much you can remember. Clear? Now let's come to this question again. So now you are better equipped. A 4-year-old boy developed severe watery diarrhea, no fever and vomiting. Stool has a rice water appearance. So now tell me, what is the etiological diagnosis? What is this disease? And what is the causative organism? What is the pathogenesis? Cholera toxin. What does cholera toxin resembles what? Antitoxin of enterotoxinic E. And what does it stimulate? It stimulates adenylate cyclase and there is profuse diarrhea. Clear? And lab diagnosis you can do. Thank you very much. That finishes my lecture.